You know, there's a danger on the path of inner growth that no one ever prepares you for. Not the danger of losing your way, but the danger of outgrowing the people you once loved, the life you once fought to protect, and the version of yourself you thought would last forever. And the moment this begins to happen, your real journey finally starts. There is a kind of danger that we are never warned about growing up. Not the danger of physical harm or obvious loss, but a quieter, far more personal danger, the danger that arrives the moment you begin to truly grow. Because when you grow, you don't simply outgrow your old habits. You outgrow people, and that is where the silent earthquake begins. It rarely starts dramatically. Transformation almost never announces itself with a loud explosion. It begins slowly, quietly, almost unnoticeably. Maybe you start questioning the routines you once followed blindly. Maybe certain conversations no longer nourish you. Maybe a book, a meditation, a moment of stillness, or even a personal crisis cracks something open inside you. And in that small crack, light begins to enter. At first, it's subtle. You start noticing that the life you've been living doesn't quite match the person you're becoming. You begin to sense that much of what you called normal was actually a kind of sleep. You look around and suddenly see how much of society runs on autopilot, chasing approval, chasing status, chasing distractions, yet never truly arriving anywhere meaningful. And slowly you realize you don't want to live that way anymore. When this inner shift begins, you find yourself standing between two worlds. There is the outer world, the world of schedules, expectations, roles, the world where you perform the person you thought you had to be. And there is the inner world, the world of awareness, curiosity, stillness, questioning, the world where something deeper is awakening. And suddenly you're navigating them both. You're working a job, having conversations, attending events, but part of you is watching everything with a quiet and unfamiliar clarity. It is as if you've stepped out of the play, while everyone else is still fully committed to their roles. And this is the beginning of the danger. Because when your perception changes, your relationships begin to shift too. People feel your transformation long before you speak of it. Not because you tell them, but because you no longer react the way you once did. You're less interested in gossip. You're not as invested in pleasing others. You find no excitement in drama or competition. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself, and the things that used to upset you now barely create a ripple. This unsettles people. They might say, "You've changed," or "You're different. You're too serious. You're distant. You're not fun anymore." But what they really mean is, you're no longer playing the role that made me comfortable. They sense you are drifting away from the old version of yourself, the version they relied on, the version they understood, the version that kept everything predictable. And in a world terrified of change, your growth feels to them like a threat. Out of fear or attachment, some people will try to pull you back into who you used to be. They remind you of old habits, old routines, old jokes, old identities. They want the old you because the old you was familiar, understandable, safe. They may say, "Why are you acting like this? You're becoming strange. Don't overthink your life. Just be normal." But once you've seen deeper, you cannot pretend you haven't. You can't unknow truth. You can't shrink back into a space your soul is already outgrown. This is one of the first real losses of awakening. The loss of your former self. And right after that comes the loss of people who only knew how to love that former self. Not everyone will resist your transformation. Some will simply fade out of your life. The conversations become shorter. The messages become less frequent. The energy feels misaligned. You feel like you're speaking different languages, looking at life from different altitudes. You're moving through your inner landscape while they're still moving through the outer one. And no one is wrong. You're simply not walking the same path anymore. The friendship doesn't break. It dissolves. Quietly. Softly. Inevitably. The most difficult separation often happens when your awakening challenges the identities of others. If you outgrow a religious system, a political ideology, a cultural expectation, or a belief you once shared with others, your change threatens the foundation of their worldview. Without meaning to, you become a mirror they cannot look into. To them, you are no longer one of us. You're a danger to the stability of their beliefs. You awaken questions in them that they are not ready to confront. So they may dismiss you, judge you, or distance themselves to protect the structure of their reality. And this can hurt deeply, because you're not trying to change them. You're simply trying to be honest with yourself. But honesty has consequences. Eventually, you reach a point where you feel suspended between the person you used to be and the person you are becoming. You've left the old world, but the new world has not fully arrived yet. This is the valley, the wilderness, the dark corridor between two doors. You may feel lost. You may feel alone. You may question yourself more than ever. You might even long for the days when everything was simpler, when you weren't questioning everything, when you didn't feel everything so deeply. But here's the truth few people understand. Your loneliness is not a sign of failure. It's a sign of transition. It's the price of transformation. Every myth, every spiritual tradition, every hero's journey includes this phase. The departure from the familiar before discovering the deeper truth. You cannot enter a new chapter with your old circle, your old self, your old identity. Something must be lost for something higher to emerge. As you grow, there are two traps: shrinking yourself to stay acceptable, or inflating yourself to feel superior. Neither is real growth. The path is a balance. You honor your roots, but do not chain yourself to them. You love people as they are, but do not dim your light to keep them comfortable. You remain open and compassionate, but stay true to your inner truth. Growth does not require arrogance nor isolation. It requires honesty. Honesty with yourself. Honesty with your heart. Honesty with your life. Here's a beautiful thing. When you evolve beyond one level, you do not remain alone. Life eventually brings you new connections, people who understand your questions, your silence, your longing for depth. People who are not intimidated by your growth, who are not threatened by your honesty, who are not afraid of your transformation. They speak your language. They feel your frequency. They walk a similar path. These are your true companions, your soul tribe. The people you were always meant to meet, but only after you outgrew the place you started from. And they tend to appear exactly when you feel you can no longer walk alone. But even before these new people arrive, you discover something more valuable than any relationship you've lost. You discover yourself. Your real self. Not the persona. Not the performance. Not the version shaped by expectations, but the version shaped by awareness. And once you touch that inner truth, you understand something profound. You never truly lost anything real. Only illusions fell away. Only masks dissolved. Only roles ended. What remains, what is always left, is the truth of who you are. And that truth is the beginning of authentic freedom. So if you find yourself outgrowing people, relationships, environments, beliefs, know this. You are not breaking down. You are breaking through. Trust the process. Trust the loneliness. Trust your awakening. Trust the pathivan when it leads you through darkness and uncertainty. Because what emerges on the other side is more alive, more free, and more true than anything you've left behind. Thanks for watching.